President Trump reset U.S. relations with Israel this week. Another important Mideast ally, Saudi Arabia, is also looking for a reset and a chance to rebrand itself. I spoke with a businessman and author helping lead that effort, Ali Shihabi. My first question was how the kingdom can overcome persistent allegations that Saudi officials have funded radical Islamic terror groups.
Well, first of all, that has never been proven. In the 15 years since 9/11, there hasn't been one piece of evidence to show that any high-ranking official of any substance has had any relationship with terrorist financing. And then getting to 9/11, because everybody talks about the fact that 15 of the 19 were Saudis. You know, Al-Qaeda used that on purpose. They brought 15 Saudis to populate that terrorist cell because they wanted to puncture the US-Saudi alliance. So Saudi intelligence has a very close working relationship with the FBI and with the CIA. And I think that's one of the reasons that gave the Trump administration the comfort, for example, not to include Saudi Arabia among the list of countries where it has concerns. I think that issue has been so aggressively handled and addressed by Saudi Arabia that any accusations that Saudi Arabia is funding terrorism or supporting terrorism are malicious.
How do you view President Trump in terms of the relationship you're trying to develop with the U.S. and the relationship Saudi Arabia will have with America?
When President Trump took office, funnily enough, the day of the inauguration, we felt that the Persian Gulf and Arabian Peninsula area became safer. The problem we had with the Obama administration was that we felt that the Obama administration was very naive in its dealings with Iran, and that Iranian expansionism and troublemaking in the Middle East with Hezbollah in Lebanon, in Syria, in Iraq, and particularly in Yemen was not taken as seriously as it should have been taken by the Obama administration. The Obama administration tended to give the Iranians the benefit of the doubt at every opportunity because they were so obsessed with concluding the nuclear deal. What we like about the sort of the grown-ups that have come into the Trump administration is that they've been on the ground in the Middle East. These generals understand it, they've dealt with it, and it's given us, first of all, it's given us a much higher level of comfort, and it's given American prestige a boost.
What would be your advice to the Trump administration as he's getting his feet wet and dealing with new international policy as a new president?
Obviously, you know, things like the ban on people coming from the Muslim world. I don't think anybody in the Muslim world supports that. And everybody sees it as counterproductive. I think one of the problems in America has been the phobias that have developed post 9/11. You know, the media, the movies, novels. If somebody, you know, shoots up a place as a terrorist, it's global news. If he's just some, you know, deranged drunkard and he does the same amount of damage, nobody cares. So I think as a result, because that sort of fear sells so well, your average American has an inflated fear of quote unquote radical Islamic terrorism.
And in defense of the Americans who are fearful, I would say the idea of a drunkard shooting up a bunch of people, which happens, is a little different than the thought that there's an entire subculture that has stated as its mission to annihilate your culture.
I think that's inflated. I don't think, I mean, the people who have to fear the jihadists most are a country like Saudi Arabia. The jihadists really are not interested in destroying, they have no chance of destroying America's culture. What they want to do is they want to take over the Muslim world. They want to take over Saudi Arabia, they want to take over the holy places, they want to take over the oil. That's what they want. They're not going to turn Americans against them. That's a myth. They're not that stupid. I mean, they are stupid sometimes, but not that stupid.
Would you say Saudi Arabia has a brand problem?
It does have a brand problem. First of all, Saudi Arabia is a very successful developing country. It's had a 100-year track record of stability and of delivering value to its citizens. That is forgotten. Everybody focuses on the fact that women can't drive, on the fact that it's very religiously conservative, on the fact that it has a capital punishment system where people get their heads chopped off. Saudi Arabia has been a force for stability, has been a great ally of America since the 1940s. It has supported America also economically. Yes, it lacks certain freedoms. Its women can't drive, it lacks religious freedom, it lacks things from a Western perspective that people are very uncomfortable with. In many cases, understandably so. But it's a more nuanced picture, and I think we need to present that nuance.
The president's stalled travel ban doesn't include Saudi Arabia. Mr. Trump says later this week he'll sign a new executive order suspending travel to the U.S. by foreign nationals from 7 other nations.